100 days. Imagine 100 days of intentionally sleeping, intentionally eating, and intentionally moving. Imagine what that would do for your health. Today, we're going to talk about the HOLO Milestone.
Alex, we're back with a special episode. This is episode 62, if my math serves me correct, and I'm the math guy of the two of us. So we're going to dive in and talk about what you shared in the intro, the HOLO Milestone. This is
That's
big
right,
stuff,
Trevor.
listeners. We're really excited about this. First, Alex, what are you using as a microphone?
So for the audio people who are just listening, you can't see this, but for all of our video people, I'm actually holding a new microphone because I want to be cool, like all the people on YouTube and Instagram that they hold a little microphone by their mouth because that's what cool people do. We're actually, in fact, it's just a piece of plastic. I'm not using it at all. I just wanted to be cool. That has nothing to do with our conversation, Trevor. We're talking about the HOLO Milestone. What is it? Who's it for? Why? How does it work? This is big. This is an announcement. This is a new mission and chapter in the business of HOLO Health. So that's what we're digging into.
Yeah, and the context that kind of led us to this point of creating the HOLO Milestone, listeners, is we wanted to create something that anyone could do, whether they're aware of HOLO Health, they're fully bought in and engaged with some of our different offerings or not, that you can do that's going to require effort, but that can really move the needle in every area of your health. So we're pumped to talk about this and share this with you guys.
Well, Trevor, this is just an extension of our mission of True Health. A truly healthy life is for anybody, any season of life, to improve their quality of life for the duration of their life. That true health is physical, mental, emotional, relational, spiritual. And the HOLO Milestone is specifically focusing on the physical part, which will impact the other parts. And it fits into our mission perfectly, and that's what we're going to dive into.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into the HOLO Milestone. Alex, what is it?
Yeah, first question is, what is it? Simply put, and according to Trevor, that's an Alexism. Simply put, the HOLO Milestone is 100 days each of intentionally sleeping, intentionally eating, and intentionally moving. So we have this thing called the HOLO Challenge that we encourage people to participate in. We have a 4-week program that we're implementing in groups and churches and individually, that throughout this program, we are developing these habits. We're building plans and doing this. Essentially, the HOLO Milestone is going to be an extension of that, and we're going to invite people to continue building these habits and make them sustainable. So it's 100 days of each. So let's break each down. The first one, Trevor, is intentionally sleeping. The baseline for sleep is everyone needs to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So
Mm-hmm.
for the HOLO Milestone, per day, 7 hours or more of sleep. The goal is 7 to 9, but a minimum of 7 hours or more. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. That leads us to number 2, which you mentioned was intentionally eating. Now, the language behind that is eating one meal inside of the day that is made up of real foods. When we say real foods, think foods found in nature, found in the perimeter of the grocery store that have an expiration date, fresh fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, proteins. That's what we're talking about when we're saying real food. So the intentional eating, or the second part of the HOLO Milestone, is eat one real meal a day. Inside of the day, just one meal.
And spot on. It can be breakfast, it could be lunch, it could be dinner, it could be all 3 meals. You can do 2, but the base minimum is just 1 meal per day.
Yeah.
Lean proteins, eggs, produce, nuts, seeds, avocados, whatever that looks like you said. Trevor, the last one, intentionally moving. The baseline for this, for the day to count for the HOLO Milestone, is 8,000 steps or more per day. 8,000
Yep.
steps.
Yep.
Trevor, the question becomes, well, what if I don't have a tracker? What if I don't have a way to measure my 8,000 steps? Here's a way, because we've made this fully inclusive for anybody, any stage of life, any budget. If you can't afford a wearable to measure how many steps you got. Quick context. The average American gets about 35 to about 3,600 steps a day, maybe about 4,000 steps a day. Under 5,000 is clinically sedentary. If you prioritize a 30-minute walk that averages out to around 4,000 steps on average. That's not true for everybody, but it's an average. So if you take averages that already throughout your day, you're getting around 35 to 4,000 steps, and then you go for a 30-minute walk, you're right around the 8,000. So we're just going to round up. So if you don't have any wearable, you're going to get a 30-minute walk. But for everyone who does have a wearable, Fitbit, Apple Watch, Garmin, even use your phone to see how many steps you get. Our goal is 8,000 steps per day.
Great, super succinct. To kind of recap all of those, Alex, the HOLO challenge is 100 completions of each of these three things: getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep, eating one real meal a day, any meal of the day, but one a day, and getting 8,000 steps inside of the day. Now, this begs the question: what if I miss a day? What if I don't do it?
Guess what? It still counts. It still counts. And here's why 100 days is significant. And here's why it still counts. And here's how you're going to measure and count. It is 100 completions of each of them. If for whatever reason you don't get 7 hours of sleep, but you eat your meal that consists of whole, clean, real foods, and you get your 8,000 steps in, it still counts. You know why,
Mhm.
Trevor? Because one of our correct understandings here at HOLO Health is not all or nothing. It still
No,
counts. Even
well,
if you only got 6 hours of sleep, but you intentionally ate and you intentionally moved, that still benefited you. That still moved the needle in the right direction. This is not 75 hard where you have to restart every time. It's not, oh man, I lost track. I lost my streak. I have to start over. It counts. So if you think of the sleep category, the nutrition category, and the movement category, you essentially just have to tally 100 total days of each of them. And then once each category is 100 or above, you have officially reached the HOLO milestone. And that's what we're inviting you into.
yeah, so just kind of playing this out is more than likely, if you're participating in the HOLO milestone, you could at minimum do it in 100 days. If you did everything consistently, did not miss
That
a
would
day
be
in 100 days.
perfection. That
That
would
would
be
be.
perfection.
That would be. And I can go ahead and tell you, I won't be doing it in 100
I
days.
won't be doing 100 days either.
You
In
have little
100
kids.
days.
You definitely won't be doing it in 100 straight days. And so that's the beauty of this. It could take you 100 days, or it could take you 120, 150. There's a grace inside of that, just like Alex said, because health is not all or nothing, which is
Right.
awesome. So we're not restarting this. We're just picking back up the next day. And so we're trying to build consistency of the habits, and it's 100 total completions or tallies, whatever word or language you want to use around that. Exactly like Alex said, 7 to 9 hours of sleep, one real meal, 8,000 or more steps a day. What Alex said there about the steps was super important. If you have questions about the meals, if you're curious if it falls into the category of a real meal or not, err on the side of no. Because
Yeah.
if you're having to beg the question, it's probably better to not count it, right? So if you're making these foods and it's comprised of the foods that we mentioned,
Yeah.
awesome. We also have a free resource that we'll link in the show notes called the Protein Plate Method that gives some food items that you can purchase. All of those are real foods. You can build a plate and it teaches you how to do
Yeah.
that. So that's in the show notes as well.
Or Trevor,
Alex,
even if you want to take it to the next level, we encourage you, and we'll talk about this later, is in the True Health program, which is our online course, our program that teaches people what health is, we actually build these habits and break it down step by step, give
mhm,
examples, give plenty of like illustrations and analogies on how to build these practical habits. So if you want to take it a step further, I'd encourage you to do that as well.
before we go to the True Health program, because that's kind of where we're rounding things out here, in terms of tracking, because
Yeah.
you probably want to track this, right? You don't want to just conjure up in your mind,
You can't guess
I'm
it.
on number
No,
47.
you need to track.
You need to track it. So here's how we would suggest you do that. Our preference is going to be a habit tracker. And so we're going to link the app that we use in the show notes as well. It's simple, takes you 2 minutes to set them up, and then each day it takes you 10 seconds. Go in
Not
there, bing,
even.
bing, bing, and then it's going to tally your totals. It's going to help you understand. Oh, I'm on 30 on sleep. I'm on 40 on nutrition, and I'm on 40 on getting my steps. Awesome. Let's keep it moving and grooving. If you don't want to use a habit tracker, you don't have to. You could use the Notes app on your phone and just delete the day, add a new day, or you could use a sticky note, put it on your fridge, or put it somewhere that you see often, maybe in your bathroom. Those are just some options. We would 100% encourage you to track as you progress through the HOLO and towards the HOLO milestone.
Yeah. I mean, tracking is key for anything sustainable because you're going to see your progress. You're going to see, wow, I've been doing this for 24 days. I want to keep it going.
Hmm.
It's the
Hmm.
science behind streaks and Snapchat that you don't want to break the streak, that you can break the streak here. It doesn't have to be unbroken, but you want to continue momentum. Trevor, I have
Yeah,
a question that would love for you to flavor this conversation with is why are the three habits sleeping, eating, and moving? Like, what is significant about
great
those
question.
three, and why didn't we choose any other three habits?
Yeah, I mean those are the three biggest needle movers when it comes to your physical health. It's going to be your
Yes.
sleep, it's going to be the foods that you eat, and the way that you move your body in terms of your physical health, but also your mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual. You're going to start to notice that that bleeds over into the other areas of your health that we talk about. And these three habits, these three rhythms, are pulled from our 7 habits of health. That is the practical application of what a truly healthy person does daily and weekly. It is literally the actions that a truly healthy person does to pursue true health, which is God's design. So those three, again, those are just the biggest needle movers. There's
Yeah.
a lot of other valuable things when it comes to your physical health, but sleep, nutrition, and movement will move the needle the biggest, and so we're trying to build
Yeah.
consistency around those.
Trevor, I'll just piggyback off of what you said. When in terms of your physical health, there's a lot of things that'll benefit your physical health. Ice bath, supplements, green smoothies, massage, mobility, stuff like this. But in terms of making the most progress, our words, our vocabulary is the biggest needle movers. Essentially, the pillars, the foundational pieces of your physical health is sleep, nutrition, and movement. Yes, we can optimize our health in other more miscellaneous type ways. But the pillars, the main ones are sleeping 7 to 9 hours each night, nutrition, quality and quantity, and then a minimum of 8 to 10,000 steps. We're going with 8,000 steps here. Um, the other thing I'd flavor this conversation with Trevor is science has actually shown that these three are what are called keystone habits. Not just habits, but keystone habits. We've unpacked this in other episodes before, Trevor, that a keystone habit is a habit that has a disproportional impact on other habits. I like to say it's the first domino that falls and impacts and makes all the other dominoes fall. When you get a good workout in or move throughout the day, that triggers, oh, I'm going to eat clean because I worked out. And then I'm going to get better sleep and I'm going to have more energy and I'm going to think clear. I'm going to be more productive at work. It's just going to impact a lot of different areas. Yes, we're focusing on our physical health here, but when you're getting your 30-minute walk in or getting your steps in between work meetings, pray, connect with a buddy, memorize scripture and meditate over that throughout the day. Or when you're slowing down having a meal, have that with someone in your community, have that with your spouse. There's ways to integrate these habits into the other ones, and that's why they're keystone habits. So they have a disproportional impact on all the other ones, and you will see every area increase if you're intentional because what is it? A tides rise all ships. I forget the saying, but you know what I'm talking about.
All ships rise with the tide. I
Yeah,
can
something
remember
like
something
I don't
like
know,
that. Hey,
something
but what
like
I was
that.
going to say is to do your best, or you need your rest. If you want to love God, love people well, and be your healthiest self, start getting some sleep. So, as we're kind of finishing up here, Alex, I want to talk about where does this fit in, and you talked about it a little bit earlier. But what I
Yeah.
want to reiterate here is that anyone can do the HOLO milestone.
Yes.
If you're hearing this and this is literally the first time you've heard of HOLO Health, somebody sent this to you, you can start doing the HOLO milestone today.
Yeah.
But the reason, the kind of origins in our brains of how we crafted this was we wanted to have an extension and offering a kind of charge for the participants of our True Health program to continue forward towards something that's going to really impact their health. Just like Alex said, imagine if you did this for 100 total times, what it would do for your health. And
Yeah.
so the True Health program, really succinctly, is a digital course where we teach people what health actually is. You see, culture says health is diets and exercise. God's design of health is so much bigger. When you follow culture's version, you're tired, stressed out, you don't know what's good or what matters. You treat it as all or nothing, and ultimately you look back 5 years, 10 years, 15 years later and wish you had done something different. God's design teaches you what matters, how you can implement it into your life so that you can like what you see in the mirror and love the inner peace that you feel. That's what the True Health program teaches you. All about that through our 9 correct understandings, through our 7 habits of health, which include these and a few other habits. And then it literally teaches you how to build a plan of application for these things. So someone who finishes that course, we're inviting them to continue the HOLO milestone, to try and work towards this objective, this aim of 100 total completions of these 3 things: 7 to 9 hours of sleep, 1 real meal, and 8,000 or more steps a day. So that was kind of the origins of it, but anyone can participate. We're going to
Yes.
link some stuff down below to the True Health program. If you're interested and want to learn more, if you're a Christian who cares about your health, this is the program that you need to check out. That's all I need to say about it.
Yeah.
But Alex, I
Trevor,
don't know if you'd add anything else about kind of the
no,
origins and how this fits into someone's life.
you hit the nail on the head. If you have gone through the True Health program, then this makes sense. If you have not, we encourage you to go check it out because this is an extension of it. Trevor, some things we say around here, or one thing we say around here, is that information plus application equals transformation.
Yeah.
In the True Health program is the information, how to build that, why it's important, all the nitty gritty. The True Health milestone is the application piece, doing it for 100 days, because the magic is in the adherence, is in the consistency, is in the sustainability, and you need a community. You need people to do this with, which is why anybody and everybody can do it, but there's a natural progression. So after you, and here's the thing, after you reach 100 days, because you will reach 100 days, then you just keep going and you're going to
Yeah.
reach 150 and then 200. We want to see who's going to get to 200 and 300 more. We want to see where the limit is on how far people can go, because this is a lifestyle. This is sustainable. This is part of who we are. It doesn't stop after 100 days. After this is not like, oh, finally we went back. No, this is something we're rewiring into our DNA. So this is who we become now, that we are intentionally sleeping, eating, and moving. So, like I said, I will finish, Trevor, with how we started is, imagine if you did this. Imagine if you actually did this. It is simple and it is sustainable, that it's 7 hours of sleep, 1 meal, and 8,000 steps. Imagine how you would feel. Imagine the productivity. Imagine some of the pounds that will shed. Imagine the mental clarity you'll get on your walks. Imagine how recharged you'll feel in the morning spending time with Jesus from getting good night's sleep. Like, these will impact every other area of health, and we encourage you to follow along and join us.